Hi, everybody. This is Shon Gerber again from Reduce Cyber Risk, and this is the second part of an episode that we've got going on. The cool part about all this is that we're going to focus now on specifically on the individual. Last time we talked about HR and what does HR need to focus on. Well, this is going to be specifically on the individual. This is some great information that's going to come out of this, some awesome nuggets that you're going to use. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's not an incredible, this is you do this and you're going to be successful making $500,000 a year. No, not going to happen, okay? But it will give you the steps you need to be successful in cybersecurity, and it's going to walk you through on what you can do to be in a better position. And I like to come back to the fact that there's a quote that I like to hear or I like to use. It's called success equals when opportunity and preparedness meet. So if you want to be prepared, if you be prepared and you work in the evening and you take volunteer roles and you do all this stuff to be prepared and an opportunity comes up, boom, baby, there's a good chance that you're going to be successful. However, if you're not willing to do the work and take the crappy jobs, the grunt work, and do some of this stuff in the evenings and spend being self-taught. I self-taught myself, which is really bad English, but I taught myself all this information that I needed so that when an opportunity came up, I was prepared. And you have to do that. So this is a stepping stone for you to get what you want. You need to look for opportunities where you can build your experience. So you increase your knowledge by finding opportunities. You volunteer to help people. You do all of these things you can to learn and grow. Now, from a legal perspective, I'll throw this out there, and you got to decide if it's worth it or not. But a hold harmless agreement is an important step. Okay, and again, I'm not a legal person. Get legal counsel. Don't listen to me when it comes to legal stuff. This is just what I know and what I've understood over years. But it will not hold you liable if things go south. So if you have somebody sign a hold harmless, and it's not perfect, and there's holes they can shoot through it, but at the end of the day, there is some paper saying that they will not hold you liable for things to happen. But it is IT. You just never know. So I would recommend you have some level of paper to have signed so that they don't hold you responsible for it. But you need to highlight your experience. When you're coming as an individual, what have you done? Now it's like, I have been an infrastructure person for a small business. Okay, great. So what, right? No, I've had a small business with over 200 devices. And all these 200 devices, I was responsible to secure all of them. I created policies and procedures on how to secure these devices, yada, 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 yada. All those things. That helps you. But you know what? You have to learn what to even build, and you have to go online and do that. There's lots of ways you can learn that. Reduce Cyber Risk is going to help you with that. There's also other opportunities out there to help you. The bottom line is that you have to do it. The buck stops with you. The other thing is like if you have no experience, find some. Get creative. And a good example, PCI DSS. You can read and provide guidance for nonprofits. It's a great way of doing it, right? Now, the thing is you have so many opportunities out there to learn about, let's just use an example, PCI, which is the payment card industry, data security standards. Yeah, I think that's what it is. And the point of the fact of the matter is that you can learn this on your own. There's gobs of information out there. However, you can't just watch YouTube and say, hey, I'm a PCI DSS expert. Not gonna happen, right? You can say it, but people won't buy into it, and if you screw it up, they'll sue you. So the point of that is that you just need to be prepared and do the best you possibly can and learn from your experience. You also need mentorship and guidance. You need to look for mentors locally and globally. Get into some chapters of cybersecurity, ISACA. There's also ISC squared chapters that are in multiple cities. Look for those. Super smart people that want to share knowledge are at those meetings, okay? Not me, somebody else. But there's super smart people that will help you at those meetings. I'll keep telling you routinely. I realize the more I get into security, the less I know. I think I know a little bit, and then all of a sudden I hear something else, and I'm like, I don't know much at all. So, and anybody, like I said before in the previous episode, anybody who tells you they're an expert and they know it all, run away, okay? Do not put your trust in them because they don't know it all, and they're fooling you. So, it was a quote that I got from a friend of mine. He's got a really good online business, and he's just a real good person, right? Well, he had a really good comment that I love. It said, don't mistake dialect for intellect. Now let that sink in. Don't mistake dialect for intellect. Cybersecurity folks are notoriously bad for saying all these great big words that just baffle you with BS, and you're just like, what in the world is that, right? Even I get confused. So what you have to do is you go, let me just kind of break this out a little bit and understand what that is. Again, don't mistake dialect for intellect. Certifications. Again, we talked about this in the HR time. I'm not a huge fan, but you got to have it. You really do. And your experience is super important. But especially if you're getting started off, you need the certs to give you some street cred. It's important to do. We talked about Security Essentials, CompTIA Security Plus, Ethical Hacker, CISM, and CISSP. All of those pieces that are the certifications that you need to consider if you're getting started in cybersecurity. You need to gain best knowledge. Okay, so I'm going to kind of focus a little bit on this, the human resources part of this, but I'm going to kind of roll a little bit into the individual as well. You probably know all this from an HR standpoint, but cybersecurity and social media sites, learn the vernacular. If you're an individual, you need to learn the vernacular. If you're HR, you need to learn the vernacular. LinkedIn, Twitter, there are plenty of opportunities for you to get to understand the language of these people. You need to also look at other companies and what are other companies doing, right? So if you're an individual, you need to see what cybersecurity people are being hired for. And then you need to look at, okay, well, I know that I'm not going to be a CISO, Security Information Security Officer, but I could be a security analyst. What does a security analyst do? What are some roles that are available? HR, you guys go out and you look at that as well. You focus on what are the key requirements that I'm looking for my position. You need to look at local cybersecurity chapters. Great place to network. If you're an individual, great place to find a mentor. If you're HR, great place to find your next recruit. Okay? So go to those. Also, reduce cyber risk. Check out our website. I mean, we're growing. Things are going to be happening here. I'm putting lots of information out there. Bottom line, you're going to see it on YouTube. You'll see it on podcasts. You're going to see it in multiple places. My ultimate goal is to help small and medium businesses protect themselves, right? I mean, I'm in it to make some money at some point in time, but at the end of the day, I really want to provide this information for people so that they can protect themselves. It's important. And these small and medium-sized businesses, my dad's a small business owner. He's worked 50 years, but yet one bad thing could potentially take him out. And we don't want that to happen. He worked all his life just to have some cyber knucklehead take out his business. And it's just important for the small and medium businesses to think about this, especially as we're getting more and more requirements from a regulatory point of view. So again, there's a danger I'm going to throw out here on this, though. Since there are so many roles available, you will get a lot of people who will pad their resume. And I talked about this earlier from an HR point of view. If you're HR, people will pad it. Hence, this is why this training is important. If you're an individual, don't pad your resume. Now, you can make it flowery, but at the end of the day, don't pad it. Have integrity, accountability, do the right thing. Because if you do the right thing, eventually things will come back around. If you try to goof this around and you end up starting to go and lie about stuff, you're going to get caught and you'll get burned and you'll actually end up losing your credibility. So don't do it. Make sure that you do it the right way. That doesn't mean you can't be a little pontification with what you do and make it a more flowery to make it seem that you don't just say, I served 5 servers. No, you did 5 servers, and I was in charge of the policy. Now, if you didn't do that, don't do that. But work with the owner to say, hey, I want to come up with some cybersecurity policies in place. Could put these in place for our employees. Most owners will be happy to have you do that because they're thinking about it, but they don't know what to even do. So again, don't lie, tell the truth, do the right thing. But at the same time, you need to make sure that you look for every opportunity you can to make your resume shine amongst everybody else. So we talked about that with the HR. Same with the individuals. Again, look at all these different things. Look for mentors and reduce cyber risk. We can help you. We kind of talked about these in a little bit in the previous slide that I had out there. But bottom line is all the things that HR does, you need to do as well. Because you never know. If you're a new guy getting started, you might meet that HR person at a meeting. You never know. So all right, that's the end of this part. We will go roll into the next session and the next episode here in a little bit. But I hope you enjoyed it. Again, check out Reduce Cyber Risk. Let me know if you got any questions at all. I'd be happy to answer them. But again, this is part 2, or actually part 3 of our series on cybersecurity more than a job description. All right, have a great day. See ya.